And I will say the only other horse to me is Capuna. If Capuna can break sharply off the layoff, then you might see a real tussle up front. I mean, there are others that could sit close, but I don't see anybody quite as fast as Traegar or Capuna.
Capuna was kind of the three horse here, a prime candidate to be gelded. I saw him at Oakland. He was running like a madman there going back to late January. He won on the mud. He was just running in his own direction, out there on the lead. So the three's got a ton of talent. Now we'll see what the horse does first time as a gelding.
He is currently sitting at odds of 9-1. Does this race shape up like the last race we saw? Is there any chance that a horse like, I mean, I know that was a mile event, but could it turn over? Could we see a deep closer, Caleb?
If it does turn out that way, it's going to be Lannery again, right? With Minnesota ready, Lannery had a slow start to the meet, but he just won the last race from off the pace. I don't actually know if there's that much speed as we saw in the ninth race, but Lannery would be looking to be the late threat for the 9.
That's a group of runners here in race number 10. Number 4 horse, Giant Mischief. He's now 6-5. He's drifted a bit now, back down to even money. So even money versus 7-5 on the 8. Those are the two main players in here. Good luck. Churchill 10 on closing day starts the final pick 3 of the meet.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Good beginning for Traegar and Minnesota ready. Down toward the inside, Capuna with a bit of release speed as well. So they race up the chute. They come for the main track. Capuna down inside, short lead right there. Traegar racing second. Go West comes on from the far outside to make it 3 across the track. Minnesota ready backs off them, settles into 4th. Friar Lawrence down toward the inside in 5th. Giant Mischief right in the thick of it, running along in 6th. Payne's back in 7th. 4 back to shoot the trailer. The leader, Capuna. 4 furlongs to go. Capuna's up against the inside, leading the way to the far turn. Knocked out a quarter in 22-4. Leads by 2.5. Traegar's on the chase in 2nd. Giant Mischief comes on through between horses now. 3rd and revving up. Go West is wide in 4th. Friar Lawrence on inside 5th. Minnesota ready is following Giant Mischief round the turn. Angling outside. In behind it's Payne. Shooter's catching up as well. They're off the turn. Capuna with a tenuous lead. Friar Lawrence is right there. Traegar on the outside. Giant Mischief down the center. Minnesota ready. There's 1 furlong to go. Traegar comes away with the lead. Giant Mischief to the attack. And Minnesota ready's coming on 2. Time running out. Traegar's in front. Giant Mischief couldn't catch Traegar. Traegar won a length and a half in the end. Giant Mischief was 2nd. Minnesota ready was 3rd. Capuna or shoot.
Traegar getting the victory. Nice win here for the son of congrats for Dan Freeman and Tanya Freeman and Mark Glatt. And to me, watching Saez decide to make his move, I think Saez was reacting more to the fact that the 4-horse Giant Mischief was coming. He had to know where he was at. He saw him coming and thinking he always had to measure the 3, and that turned out to be the key in holding off Giant Mischief late.
He wanted to definitely make sure he moved first, for sure, and very comfortable at that, though I do give credit to the 4 Giant Mischief, who was a little up against it, closing from off the pace quite as far as he was. That's a tall order. I know the time was fast, but for these horses, they can do it pretty easily, especially Traegar. 45-1 for the half mile, 109.47 for 3/4 of a mile. He finishes up beautifully here. You know, we might be seeing a preview of the sprint division for next season.
And considering how high Mark Glatt has been on this horse, he's been very conservative about where he's placed them. We mentioned they have not been in the stakes just yet, but they just cleared the 2nd level, and I got a feeling a stakes race is coming up next for this guy.
And I'm going to bet it's down at Oaklawn Park. I would bet a lot of money that's where he ends up going. Let's go back to Del Mar.